Hi everyone, it's Lucy from My Crazy Craft Life, and I'm here today with a design team post for Scrapping for Less using Newton's Nook Newton Rides West stamp set. I thought this stamp was really cute and I was super excited when I got it for the design team post. I decided I wanted to make my own background using some of the smaller stamped images, and on this one I was just kind of playing around and getting a feel for it. I end up getting a different card base, and that's the one I keep. But I used Lawn Fawn's freshly cut grass for the cactus color. I stamp the star image with the Brutus Monroe embossing ink, and I use gold embossing powder with that. And then the horseshoe stamp image, I use the embossing ink as well, and I stamp that, and then I use the Stampendous silver detail embossing powder for the horseshoe. And then I just heat emboss that, and I think that turned out super cute for a background for this card that I end up making. I did you have to be really careful when you don't heat emboss it first, and I wasn't too worried if a little bit of silver got onto the gold star because I just thought it would give it some character. But since I didn't heat emboss it, you got to make really sure that you're not touching it or anything, which I was kind of proud of myself because I'm always kind of clumsy and do dumb stuff, so I was glad I made it through that without messing it up. And then just it didn't warp too much, but it just kind of bent a little upwards, so I wanted to stick that under something that was heavy. So for the front panel of the card, I stamped the image and then I stamped it again, and I just fussy cut that out to build, not to build a mask, but to create a mask for this, because I'm going to use some Distress Oxides and kind of make a worn out looking poster with the Distress Oxides on the front panel of this card so that it ends up being a cute little wanted poster with Newton sitting there with his little outfit on. I thought was super cute with the cowboy hat and the scarf that he's got on. But I used the antique linen, I believe, and the vintage photo to make this, and then I just rip apart just pieces of it and kind of willy-nilly every which way, and then I use the darker walnut Distress Oxide to kind of put around the edges and kind of make it look worn. So once I finish that up, I pull off the mask and I get some Copics, and I'm going to do some simple Copic coloring on the image. There's nothing really special about the coloring that I did, just some basic blending with a couple colors. I think the stamp set is absolutely adorable. There are a lot of cute images in there, and there's just so many different things you can do with this stamp set. But I thought this wanted poster was a cute idea since it was the cowboy images in kind of the scenario, and it says, and one of the sentiments is wanted, and then it gives you a reason, and it's the one I chose is because you're awesome. So I thought that was super cute. With the Distress Oxides and the blending of it, because I wanted it to look worn out and distressed and I didn't really care, I was kind of heavy-handed, really heavy-handed with the blending, so it didn't really matter too much what I was going to do with or how light-handed or heavy-handed you are when you're doing that, because I wanted it dark and I wanted it to be kind of dirty looking. I was able to be really heavy-handed. Sometimes I'm too heavy-handed when I'm trying to blend and I end up with the circles in there. To combat that, you got to make sure you're really light-handed when you're doing it. But like I said, for this particular one, I didn't care because I knew I wanted it to look dirty and kind of messed up, I guess you want to say. So there's that image. I do end up using the Wanted, and I use Versafine Black Onyx ink to put the sentiment on there. And I use clear embossing powder to heat emboss it. after I stamp it with the Versafine ink. So you see how you removed that. I'm not entirely sure what I did or why that didn't stamp properly on there, but I really had to line that up because I had taken it off and I ended up being able to get that, thank goodness for the platform, because it comes in amazingly handy to make sure that if you do mess up, you can line it up again, or just to make sure when you have to double or triple stamp something that it ends up coming up, and you can really make sure that you get a good stamp. So I love the platform to make sure that happens. So I did not prop this up or anything. I just thought it was kind of perfect with the wanted poster on top of that little card. And then I do take the star image with some Versafine ink and just kind of stamp that around a couple times. And that's about it. Thanks for joining me. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Take care.